So I don't know, man.
It's tough. I feel like this is the sort of match that is going to look one-sided, even though it really isn't. Like I feel like we're. I want to be wrong. I feel like we're going to see a 2-0, and I feel like we're going to see relatively quick matches. But it's hard to pick which team it's going to be ahead of time. And I think it's the sort of match that it could be like either team could win either match, and just one is able to pull it out more consistently. I'm not sure. I got a hunch or something. I don't know. I'm probably just talking out of my ass. I do it a lot.
It's cool.
And as the gates open, we're going to see TSM Pikaboo using that Shroud of Concealment for his team. Dillypoo's going to pick a spot and use that camouflage. He's going to go for that flare and actually flares out Dhorthy. Pikaboo's going to wait, though. He doesn't really have a way to get in. I think he's going to be playing Burst of Speed, so he's just going to wait until he sees an opening for the flare to fall. I don't know how patiently he's actually going to play. There goes the second flare. He is still just waiting outside of it, and it's just going to be a patience game at this point. I think Pikaboo is going to wait to get a good opener, but there's really nothing he can do if they don't push out from that flare. So patience going to be a virtue here for him if he wants to get an ideal opener.
Yeah, he's just waiting at this point for. Well, there was his opportunity just a second ago. He actually is running a Shadow Step and not Burst of Speed yet again. So he's going to jump over here and get onto Dhorothy right away. He actually dropped a full kidney shot onto Dwaynewave in the middle of that as well. So trying to do their best just to put out a whole bunch of damage onto Dhorothy in the opener, but Dorothy's doing a great job of kiting away and limiting the amount of damage that Pikaboo is actually able to do. With Pikaboo with that Shadow Step, it's much harder for him to actually get back to his target. But Dhorothy once again actually caught into the smoke bomb and the cheap shot as well. Is going to be able to. Oh, no, excuse me. He does actually pop his deterrence in the middle of that. And I believe I saw a bop as well in the midst of all that. I'm not sure where that went. I thought I saw the graphic for it, but I don't see forbearance. Oh no, excuse me. It was on Dwaynewave. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Kubzy now taking a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, Kubzy taking a bunch of damage now here, but Dwaynewave caught into like kidney shot, Dhorthy into the cheap shot, Avengelyne into the bash, and Dhorthy finds himself in a 3v1 situation, Avengelyne throwing out that bop on himself, Dwaynewave actually throwing out his first Spirit Link, and it looks like Boo Brothers have all the pressure and all the momentum at the moment. Kubzy doesn't have his trinket available, as well as Barskin, so he could get swapped to, but Pikaboo popping that dance, and a second Spirit Link coming out from Dwaynewave, and Dhorthy's still in a lot of trouble. The cheap shot comes out onto Dwaynewave. They might be swapping over onto him. He's down to 20% HP, caught in that kidney, and he's just going to die. The swap from Dillypoo and Pikaboo, and beautiful cross CC coming out of Kubzy, and that's going to be 1-0 for Boo Brothers.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that Thug Cleave just completely dismantled I'm Stuck in the middle of this. They were just able to pull out so many cooldowns so constantly that they just had nothing left. The Cupid Cleave just had nothing left that they could actually do. It was just played really, really well out of Pikaboo, Dillypoo, and Kubzy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a quick look at that replay. I mean, at this point, you see Dhorthy. He's so low, so the Spirit Link has to come out, but he also uses that deterrence. And as soon as Dwaynewave is out of his, that's the trinket right there into the DR kidney, and he's so low to begin with. It's just this Thug Cleave just gets so many defensive cooldowns. It's unbelievable. Alright, here I'll show you guys the screen real quick so you can actually see who sat in what CC. Avengelyne actually sat in more CC than Dwaynewave the healer. And then on the opposite side, Kubzy only in 17 seconds, Pikaboo in 4 seconds, and Dillypoo only in 19. But yeah, look at Dillypoo's damage. Holy crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crow indeed. We are so funny.
Oh man, it's almost like I did that on purpose, but I didn't.
You're not supposed to admit that. You're supposed to be like, genius.
No, I totally meant that the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like I'm funny, but I'm not.
Alright, let's see what the next map is going to be for these. I'm going to go ahead and ask them. Next map. I feel like they're going to Ruins. Yep, Ruins. Boom. There it is.
It's a safe guess.
Alright, queuing right up. Jumping into this second map of this best of 3 series. There it is. and I will see you guys in Ruins of Waron in just one hot minute. Alright, here we are. Ruins of Hunteron. This is my favorite map. By far my favorite map. But that being said, it's a Thug Cleave though. I feel like they could also gain somewhat of an advantage on a map like this.
Well, if you're on Ruins of Hunteron and there's a hunter on either team, then the hunters kind of cancel each other out, I think.
Yeah.
I just want to point out real quick before the gates open that Dillypoo's pet is a cat named Rind. So...
That's adorable. All right. It looks like the gates are going to open. Pikaboo using that shroud once again. Yeah, to everyone's surprise, the gates are finally going to open. And it looks like they're going to do the same strategy of sitting in the room with the flare. But I mean, last game they did this, but they got impatient. I don't know. So, I mean. I don't know why they're even bothering if they're not gonna like wait it out. You know, I don't think Pikaboo is gonna run in and like make that mistake, getting flared out. But he does get caught, so I was wrong. There you go. Pikaboo going in, using that Phantom Knives to generate some combo points, but he's just gonna pull back for now. Potentially even going for that re-stealth. He knows being in that room isn't ideal for him and his teammates. Avengelyne pushing in though, wants to get the game going now that they've gotten Pikaboo out of that stealth. Avengelyne actually going into that Wyvern, but it is dispelled by Dwaynewave. The Hodge comes out onto Kubzy into that Wyvern Sting, and they have a much better opener this game onto Dillypoo, but Dhorthy taking a lot of damage. The Smoke Bomb comes out, the dance comes out from Pikaboo, and this is probably going to be his first deter. The blind comes out onto Dwaynewave, and he gets bopped out of it. Dhorthy not having to use any deters there, but Avengelyne caught into that cross CC as well. Pikaboo just cheap-shotting everything. The clone comes out from Kubzy onto Avengelyne right now, and Dhorthy seems to have stabilized for now, but they managed to turn that over around quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely. They did manage to pull a few cooldowns out in the midst of all that. Dillypoo actually got stuck into a trap there just for a second, just eating that for Kubzy so he doesn't have to worry about that. Very nicely done. Dhorothy now taking a whole bunch of damage again, but does get that Spirit Link from Dwaynewave that's going to top him off. Actually, mid-deter, that Spirit Link got off. He almost was out of it before it actually landed. And he has not actually had to use either of his deterrences yet. So doing a great job just keeping his health up and just making sure that he can stay alive. And trying to play the cooldown game here. Dillypoo now, though, popping his cooldowns. He's got the crows out. Dhorothy's actually going to get bopped off of that, and he's going to be able to sit in that bot for just a second. That's going to reduce that damage by a ton. Obviously, he's not able to do much in the way of damage while this is going on, but it doesn't really matter because that's pretty much negated both of Dillypoo's major cooldowns. So they've got a little while now to be able to try to turn something around here. Avengelyne caught into a very brief cyclone there. Now Dwaynewave getting a kidney shot into the trap. He's going to be stuck over here. He does have his healing stream down, which can maybe help out a little bit here. And yeah, in fact, he's able to sit through that no problem and keep Dhorothy alive. Dillypoo does get the Iron Bark in the midst of all this. He's taken a whole bunch of damage, but with those crows out, but not enough to really make a difference here. Pikaboo actually into a full Hex, and Kubzy into the Wyvern Sting as well, but Dillypoo very wisely just hanging out in the back here. He tries to intercept that trap and was not able to do it, and Kubzy now in the full Fist as well. They're pushing out here. They're trying to make something happen out of Dhorothy, but with Pikaboo caught into the roots there from the disengage, I forget the name of it, Narrow Escape, I believe, and Dhorothy still has not had to use either of his deterrences.
Yeah, he still has his trinket in both deterrences available, but Dwaynewave now caught into that full blind. No bops available from Avengelyne. This might end up being his trinket. Avengelyne popping that bubble sort of defensively. The sap comes out from the blind from Pikaboo onto Dwaynewave, and Dhorthy could be in a lot of trouble here. This might end up being his first deterrence. He's still holding on to it, hovering around 30% HP. The triple DR sap coming in from Pikaboo. The cheap shot from Dwaynewave, but Dhorthy getting a lot of heals from Avengelyne's defensive wings, but they're turning around onto Dillypoo now. Dillypoo hovering around 16%, catches a huge NS from Kubzy there. Doesn't have to use either of his deterrences, and Dhorthy now at 1 deterrence, Dillypoo still at 2, and that was Avengelyne's wings, and I guess they got Kubzy's trinket as well as, I mean, that's really all they got with the wings, so, I mean, all the momentum still in Boo Brothers' favor still, and they're just slowly grinding through these Ret Paladin cooldowns while on Dhorthy. The full kidney shot comes out onto Dwaynewave. The trap comes out after that. He does get sacked by Avengelyne. Avengelyne still has 1 sack left, but the crow's out from Dillypoo onto Dhorthy. Another Spirit Link having to come out. Just so much damage from this Cleave onto Dhorthy, and he's still not out of the woods yet. The crow's still going insane on him. Avengelyne caught into that Wyvern Sting. Cheap shot into cheap shot. Bomb onto Dhorthy, and he could just die here. Into the kidney shot. Hovering on 40% HP. Dwaynewave runs in, desperately trying to keep him up. The cheap shot comes out from Dwaynewave. He might actually get trapped out of this. The full clone comes in. Dhorthy forced to use his second deter.
Yeah, I can't believe he actually lived through that that smoke bomb. That was amazing presence of mind by Dwaynewave to get in there in a hurry and be able to heal him back up. Now Kubzy at super low health and just dies out of nowhere. So much damage in such a hurry in that swap. I don't think they were expecting it at all. I certainly wasn't expecting that amount of damage onto Kubzy in that short an amount of time, and he just falls down. So
I'm pretty sure he
I'm stuck.
died through I'm pretty sure he died through Barskin and Ironbark there, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
showing
Yeah,
the power of the crows from Dhorthy.
That's crazy, man. I can't believe it. They were getting so many defensive cooldowns out of there. Let's take a quick look at that replay. So at this point, Dhorthy is the one who's in a lot of trouble and survived through that smoke bomb and everything, Dwaynewave and that full cycle. And Dhorthy forced to use the deterrence, but keep an eye on Kubzy. That's the Hodge onto Kubzy execution sentence. He uses Barkskin, but it's just not enough. And also has Roar Sacrifice on him as well. That wasn't even wings. That was just Dhorthy's crows. Wow.
Yeah, just crows.
Unbelievable. So that is
Yeah.
going to be 1-1 between these two teams, and the next map is going to decide who's continuing down the winner's bracket.
I think it's interesting. I'm still looking at the after match scoreboard here. There's a couple of interesting things about it. Both Dillypoo did almost 3 million damage, and Pikaboo did 2.3 million. Whereas Avengelyne was only at 1.6 and Dhorothy only at 2.2, so a lot less damage overall came out of I'm Stuck. They were just able to make that happen in such a hurry there with Dorothy's cooldowns. Also, both Dwaynewave and Avengelyne, that was like a 5-minute match, something like that. Both Avengelyne and Dwaynewave spent over a minute in CC in that match. Yeah. So that was, I felt like that was a matter of Boo Brothers Goes to Alaska. They were sort of in command of the game for quite some time, and then just there was that one little opportunity for I'm Stuck to be able to turn it around, and they took advantage of it and got themselves a kill.
Yeah. And I mean, Pikaboo is playing that Subtlety spec, and if Subtlety has any sort of advantage whatsoever over combat, it is the ability to help CC the other team by cheap shotting everything, garroting everything. So
Yeah, for real.
that's really all Subtlety has going for it outside of dance.
On the Grand Arena, when Pikaboo ran in, he literally ran to every single one of the team members and cheap shotted them, and then kidney shotted the healer. It's just that control definitely can come in handy. So it looks like Dillypoo's team does need a minute or two to get it situated, probably talk about some strategies, and also one of their team members are lagging, so we're just going to give them a full minute. They have their full 10 minutes of delay time, so they're going to use it as wisely as they possibly can. And I guess I have, I don't know. These games have been so close. Both teams just forcing defensive cooldowns from each other very quickly. But Dhorthy, I think, did a really good job holding on to his defensive cooldowns and kiting around Pikaboo on Ruins of Lordaeron of any other map to do so. And he held on to his double deterrences for a long time. But then they both get forced so quickly.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I guess I'll take this opportunity to shout out some of you guys that have been coming in hot with the subscriptions and stuff like that. We had a new subscriber, Power Word Chocolate. I love that name. That's a pretty awesome name. Thank you for the subscription. Glinks, welcome, buddy. Baby girl Chrissy, I believe I read you already. It might be 2 accounts. You skipped other people. That's cool. But welcome. Crazy Joe X, welcome. And of course, the legendary Watch Me Blink 1 has subscribed. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate that, brother. And we also did get a couple donations as well. What in the world? Hold on, I need to read this before I read it out loud.
It's a good strategy. Trust me, I know.
I guess I'll read that out loud. Evil Everything donated $3. Thank you for the support, brother. And he said, Venruki has the beard of 1,000 orgasms. So there's that. Thanks, man. That's a pretty fantastic beard. And I also got a $50 donation from Tenny Brus 80. And he just left the message, keep it up. Thank you. So there it is. We do have, it looks like 7 more minutes of delay time available for Dillypoo's team. It looks like someone's going to restart their computer. But any predictions to who's going to take, or how about this? Any predictions to the next map, as it is going to be Boo Brothers map choice.
I feel like I need to stop making predictions because every time I do, the opposite thing happens.
Oh no, you have the power, man. Whichever your favorite teams are is.
I have the Artosis curse.
The Artosis curse, yes. I love Artosis.
I mean, if I had to guess, I think they're going to choose a map like Tolvaron. It's going to give Kubzy a lot more room to kite around, especially if he's going to be the main kill target. He's going to be able to displace away and actually get behind a pillar and get some safety, Ruins Lordaeron, he doesn't really have anywhere to go, and so I think a bigger map would be advantageous for them.
Yeah, absolutely. The subs are flying in. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Every subscription that comes through directly helps us in continuing to do this, so thank you guys so much. Yeah, I don't know. I felt as though this was going to be more one-sided for the Ret Paladin team, and I feel like almost the advantage feels like it's in the Thug Cleave team. So it looks like both teams are ready, though. So we're just going to jump right into this very last map of this best of 3 series, and it is going to be on Tolvaron Arena. Oh, I'm so excited. There it is. All right, I'll see you guys in the map. Yeah. Alright, now welcome. I'm stuck versus Boo Brothers 1-1 out of a best of 3 series. This win is going to determine who continues down this winner's bracket, and also, more importantly, who's going to be facing well, who are they going to be facing?
It'll be the winner
of the
Method
semifinals.
versus
Yeah.
It'll be the winner of Method versus DBK.
Oh my gosh.
So regardless of who wins here, they're going to be facing a fairly scary team in the next round. So it's kind of a like, congratulations, you win. Now you have to fight this team. Like, oh crap.
Yeah. At this point, all the teams are really scary. Yeah. Here's your consolation prize. But yeah.
Oh, looks like they're going to go ahead and leave. There might be some MS issues. I'll continue to contact these teams and keep you guys informed exactly what's going on. Everything that is told to me, I let you guys know, so you guys aren't left in the dark in anything.
Yeah, but I feel like either team that you run up against, like if the Cupid Cleave wins, or the Thug Cleave wins, like who do you hope for at that point? Who do you hope that wins between Method, which is Sea-Doo, Smexit, and Channibals, or DBK, which is that RMD that we've been seeing do so incredibly well over the past several weeks? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the matchups, to be honest with you, but I think at this point you got to just be ready for anything. I mean, I'm sure that each team has a team they're rooting for, so they have an easier matchup coming up, but I think they should just prepare for everything. Get their game face on.
And honestly, at this point, like, they've made it far enough in the tournament that if they do get knocked down to the losers bracket, they actually don't have too far to go to get back up.
Right.
So it's actually kind of whichever team wins here. It's not the worst thing if they end up getting knocked to the losers bracket in the middle of all of this.
Not at all. That's something else to note. When you do get knocked out into the losers bracket, but you've made it sort of far in the winners bracket, that, just like you said, there's not as far of a bracket that you need to win through to get to the finals. But looks like both teams are ready again. I pressed the go button. We're joining the queue, but for whatever reason, it's not working. There we go.
There we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tolvaron Arena. Here it is, the match you've been waiting for. Boo Brothers versus I'm Stuck. The Thug Cleave versus the Cupid. I'm excited. Oh man, I feel like it could go either way. It really could.
I don't know. Looking at that game, Team Boo Brothers seemed like they were winning the entire time, and it almost, I don't want to say it was a lucky give, but that was definitely a give. I mean, Kubzy died through a lot of cooldowns, and if he has a pillar to retreat to, is the same thing going to happen? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So we'll see how it goes on this map.
He died through so much, too.
And they were in a pretty commanding lead the entire game on Nagrand, which is a lot more similar to Tolvaron than it is to Ruins. So I feel like it's a good sort of estimate. I feel like if you're Boo Brothers in this matchup, you should be feeling pretty good going into this about your chances, unless we keep having issues, which it looks like I've actually just lost someone's health. But yeah, it looks like they are actually leaving. So
that's a separate team. So their delay time is completely separate, as they haven't used a single minute of it yet. Looks like the add-ons are messed up for Dhorthy. This is the first time we've had any hiccups today.
Yeah, I think like we've been flying through matches today. Like they've been quick, decisive 2-0s. There was the 2-1 between Method and RL Dream Team. So I think it's forgivable that there's maybe a little bit of a wait on this one to get this match going. Seeing as how
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Oh, that was it. There you go. All right, well, we're jumping right back into it once again. Tolvaron Arena. I feel like this is the most hyped up match ever. Because we just constantly keep sitting in this waiting room waiting for this game to happen. But it's about to happen right here. I mean, Avengelyne and Dillypoo, they're good friends. Avengelyne and Dillypoo went to regionals together. So it's a battle of friendship, man. I don't know.
Whoever wins is never allowed to come around for birthday parties ever again.
Yeah, totally. I feel like the competition is definitely sinking in between these two, though. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both teams definitely want to win this. Like, even though it's not the worst to get knocked to the losers bracket at this point because there's only one more match to play to get back into the losers semifinals, you still want to be in the winners semifinals and have that extra sort of like second chance if you lose again. Like, you never want to lose a match, regardless of where it puts you in the tournament. So we see here again, just sitting in the room there with that flare out front, trying to get Pikaboo to move in. Pikaboo's actually just hiding way over here. He's spamming the swirly ball, the little detect traps. Well, it used to be detect traps. Now it's just a swirly ball, just sitting over here hanging out. Trying to look for an opportunity to actually jump in there, and there it is. He actually jumps in. He gets the sap onto Dwaynewave, and he's going to open up onto Dhorothy, getting the cheap shot onto Avengelyne as well, into the kidney on Dhorothy. Now the trap on Dwaynewave. That's a ton of damage. Dhorothy having to pop his deterrence right away. Now the full blind onto Dwaynewave. That's going to get bopped off, and he's going to be able to start trying to heal Dhorothy back up again, but holy crap, the Spirit Link comes out as well, gets killed instantly. So much damage coming out of Boo Brothers right now. It's absolutely ridiculous the amount of damage they've been able to do, and killing that Spirit Link that quickly too. These guys are on fire right now.
Yeah, that's the Iron Bar coming out from Kubzy onto Dillypoo, but the wing comes out from Avengelyne. Dillypoo forced into that deterrence. They're just waited out that Iron Bark, and as soon as it faded, he pops that wings. So much damage onto Dillypoo, but Dhorthy is going to be in trouble here. Pikaboo popping that Cloak of Shadows. He wants to connect as soon as he can, and Shadow Dance is going to be coming up soon. Kidney shot onto Dwaynewave. See if Dillypoo's able to follow that up with a trap. The Wyvern Sting comes out onto Avengelyne, but no trap onto Dwaynewave, so Dhorthy should be fine for now. The Shadow Step kick coming out of Pikaboo. And Dhorthy's still just rotting down from Dillypoo's damage. I mean, Pikaboo's not even connecting on Dhorthy, but he's still just dying to the raw damage of Dillypoo, who pops those crows. The cheap shot comes in, and Dhorthy could be in a lot of trouble. The bop and deterrence coming out, as well as the Spirit Link. Everything used except Dwaynewave's trinket. This is going to be a nightmare for Dhorthy. He has no trinket, no deterrence available, and Dwaynewave has no more Spirit Links.
Yeah, that's a ton of cooldowns that's now been used out. I was about to say that I'm Stuck had been doing a decent job of pulling cooldowns out of the other team to try and even it up, but with that many cooldowns used, I don't think that's really the case anymore. They do get the deterrence out of Dillypoo here, as Pikaboo was very briefly stuck into a Hex as well. Now the Smoke Bomb comes out onto Dhorthy. He's stuck in it over here. He does manage to deterrence out of there. He's just in such a scary position right now with no deterrences left and no real cooldowns on his team either. There's no bops left available. There's no trinkets available either. If they can get another good chain of CC off, if Boo Brothers can get another good chain of CC off, then that's gonna be it. There's just no two ways about it. Dhorthy's still taking a bunch of damage here. There's the blind on a Dwaynewave. Dhorthy feigns right away, trying to limit as much damage as he can. There is the sack coming out onto him into the cheap shot as well, but it's not going to be enough, and Dhorthy goes down in the midst of all of that. Just so many cooldowns had been pulled out up until that point. It was really just a matter of time.
Yeah, and Avengelyne just had no more bops available, having to use that defensive bop, and I mean that deterrence bop overlay from Dhorthy and Avengelyne ultimately, I mean, cost them that game.
There it is. I think I might have a replay of the final kill there as on to Dhorthy. Dhorthy had a lot of damage reducers on himself. I think he even had a Hand of Sacrifice on him, but it just wasn't enough. As we take a look here, the full blind goes out onto Dwaynewave. Dhorthy had Roar Sacrifice and Hand of Sacrifice up, but the damage coming out from this thug, that was Dance as well coming out from Pikaboo, securing that kill. And GG's goes out to, actually these teams are still fighting a bit.
Yeah, they're actually still playing. I don't think that much is really going to be able to happen here, but Avengelyne, I got to give them credit. Like, do as much as you can, just try. Like, you can,
as well.
It's still possible to win, but Avengelyne is now taking a whole bunch of damage, and he's going to go down there. So yeah, Boo Brothers goes to Alaska, more like Boo Brothers goes to the semifinals, am I right?
All right.